However, recently, the shelter took in $25,000 to make up for lost donations via a fundraiser that they held. But they're still looking for volunteers.
These funds will be focused on our Center of Hope programming, which is their shelter, our community feeding programs, and our social services where we assist people with food boxes. We also assist them with utilities, expenses, rent expenses, things of that nature.
Liberty Student Health Services offers COVID testing for students. While the students are waiting for their results, however, they have to quarantine. If it comes out that they are positive for COVID, they have to quarantine for 14 days, either in the annex or if they live off campus in their house. Student Emily Hunt had to be tested for COVID twice.
It was scary, but everybody was so nice, and I was just really wanting it to just get over with.
She was tested for COVID once, and when it came back negative, they wanted her to be tested again a second time, just to be sure.
Was not too thrilled, especially since going back I might get infected by anybody waiting in line.
Liberty is encouraging students to wear masks, social distance, and hand sanitize as often as possible to help stop the spread of COVID-19 on campus. From coming up with story ideas to laying out and designing the paper on pages in Adobe InDesign, the staff of the Liberty Champion is composed of students. So when Liberty went online for COVID, so did the paper. Students went from working in an actual office like the one I'm standing next to now to having to set up shop in their homes. Part of the students' responsibilities with the paper are rolling with punches and unexpected problems.
The whole office is trying to figure out, are we going to continue printing? Are we going to move everything online? How are we going to do that? We don't have the server because the computers are here on campus and they're not connected to our laptops. So it was a lot of trying to figure out how are we going to make this work and still put stories out.
Sometimes this means cutting stories at the last minute, and other times it looks like problems with the server. However, the hardworking staff handle everything thrown at them with ease, especially when COVID hit.
So it was interesting. It was definitely a little bit concerning, considering how we were going to approach things, but in the end we made it work as much as we could.
Copies of the Liberty Champion, like the one here in my hand, can be picked up every Tuesday on campus or on newsstands around Lynchburg.
Multiple power outages hit Liberty University last week, causing the shutdown of dorms, dining, and events. When the power went out during a hockey game, the commentators had to get creative to continue the broadcast.
When it happened, we all went to the window, looked outside towards campus, and all the lights were out. We were like, oh, well, this is the whole campus that's out of electricity. And at that point, I don't think the hockey teams have decided to play yet because they kind of paused their action for maybe 10 or 20 minutes where they weren't playing and we're deciding how they were going to continue without electricity. And I was like, all right, well, I guess we can do a Facebook Live. And that's when Rhett did his phone. And I turned on my phone and saw Rhett was doing the Facebook Live on my phone, and I was like, "Go Rhett, go!" Pat and all the announcers. I'm like, they're so determined.
At first, the idea of streaming from Facebook Live was left off. Then they realized that it could actually work.
In the hundreds of broadcasts that I've done, whether it's sports, music, whatever, I've never seen the power go completely out, and so it was really surprising, and I was just trying to figure out what was happening.
Since the internet went down with the power, they used the cell phone's data and completed the broadcast. Liberty is in the process of correcting the power outage issue, but the sports network commentators have shown they can handle whatever is thrown their way.
네, 지금 뒤에 보시다시피 알다시피 지금 리버티 대학교 캠퍼스가 제 뒤에 있는데요. 네, 지금 이 캠퍼스는 미국에서 유일하게 대면 수업을 하고 있는 캠퍼스라고 합니다. 지금 그 현장을 가보도록 하겠습니다. 자, 한번 가보도록 할까요? 리버티 대학교에 70여 개국에서 온 800여 명들의 교환학생들이 학업과 또는 취업을 목적으로 미국으로 왔습니다. 그 중에 올해 온 신입생들의 이야기를 들어보기로 하겠습니다.
It's common for you to meet people and to not feel like a certain insecurity towards them like you would in high school. Like high school, you don't know if they're all believers and stuff, but here it's almost like you're more comfortable, for example, to sing Christian songs.
현재 유행하는 세계적 전염병과 주변 분위기를 무릅쓰고 리버티 대학교는 대면 수업을 하기로 결정했습니다.
고쳐야 될 점은 싹 다 고쳐야겠네요. 머리부터 발끝까지 가역도 제대로 해야 되고 대면강의 왜 하고 있는지 모르겠고 그리고 왜 추수감사절 이후로 온라인으로 전환하는지 조금치 알 수가 없긴 하지만 어쨌든 뭐 그건 뭐 알아서들 잘한다고 생각하고.
전 세계적으로 유행하고 있는 코로나 바이러스가 발발하고 있음에도 불구하고 전 세계에 분포되어 있는 교환 학생들의 공부 열정을 꺾지는 못했습니다. 그들의 열정과 꿈을 꼭 이루길 희망하며 이번 학기 코로나 바이러스 큰 탈 없이 모두 다 열심히 마무리하는 학기가 되었으면 좋겠습니다. 이상 강원빈 기자였습니다.